Hi, this is me, Margret, and I am going to read Margret and H.A.'s Curious George and the Pizza Party. Curious George was a good little monkey and always very curious. Today, he wasn't just curious, he was excited. So excited, in fact, that he was turning flips and standing on his head. He's just not turning flips and standing on his head. He is doing that on a chair, knocking the plants because he has got an letter to George. And here is that letter. Let's see what it is. This is a letter. It says, to George. Looks like it's going to be a party. It's a pizza party. Yep, we guessed it right. It's a pizza party. Day, Saturday. Time 4 p.m. Place, apartment 2. A little girl in George's building had invited him to her party. George had never been to a pizza party before, but he loved parties and he loved pizza. So he knew it had to be good. But maybe the party's not going to be good. Let's see what happens next. After the party starts, right? Yeah. Then we'll know. George, it's time for the pizza party, said the man with the yellow hat. Have fun and remember to be on your best behavior. George got to the party in perfect time. Hi, George, called out the little girl. But what was all of this? The children were wearing puffy white chef's hats and checkered aprons. George got a hat and the apron too. The best was yet to come. They weren't just going to eat pizza. They were going to make it too. Everyone would get a piece of pizza dough to roll it out and make a special pizza, explained the girl's mother. There were many little lumps of dough. But first, let's play some games, she said. Everyone went into the living room to play pin the pepperoni on the pizza. Everyone that is except George. He was curious about those pieces of dough. George thought if lots of little pieces of dough were good, maybe one huge one would be even better. He gathered the lumps of dough together and squished them until they became one very biggest piece of dough he had ever seen. What fun! Maybe rolling it out would be even more fun. George poured out flour out on the table, and he rolled and rolled and rolled the dough with a rolling pin. At first, it was a messy work. First, he bumped over one of the chairs. Crash! Then he knocked over the stack of flour. Thump! Thump! The flour looked like snow lying on the floor of the kitchen. George liked snow, though, so he didn't mind at all. Soon he had gotten the dough nice thin, but the thinner it got, the farther it spread out. Before he knew it, the dough covered the table, and then the chairs, and then George. Without the flour, it started to stick everything, including George. George stopped to think. Maybe the dough was better off in small pieces after all. Let's see what else happens. Looks like the pizza party is not good, but bad. George got a pair of scissors and began cutting up the dough into lots of different shapes. He thought everyone would be pleased. George, what have you done to the kitchen? The little girl's mother didn't look very happy. I think it's time for you to go home now. How surprised he was and sad George was. Just then the children burst into the kitchen and saw George and saw the mess that George had made. George, what happened? Asked one boy. The other children looked at the shapes George had made with wide eyes. Wow, George, I have never seen pizza dough like that before, said the little girl, smiling. Well, said her mother, if you can clean up this mess quickly, George, I suppose you can still stay here to make pizza. The children all helped George clean the kitchen. He was lucky to have so many good friends. As they worked, they talked about the pizza. I'm going to make a pizza that looks like a star, said one little boy. And I'm going to make one that looks like a house, said a girl. Once the kitchen was clean, the real fun began. All of the children picked out perfect pieces of dough and got to work. They spooned on tomato sauce and sprinkled on cheese. They added lots of vegetables and pepperoni. The pieces looked wonderful. One looked like a rainbow, another like a stop sign, and still another like a balloon. There was even a pizza that looked curiously like George. Can you say which one is that? This looks like a balloon. This looks like a star. This looks like a rainbow. This looks like a stop sign. Then where is Curious George? And this looks like something else. But where is George? Right here. Here are his eyes, nose, and mouth. So this is George. George's face, like here. Well, George, said the little girl's mother, the pizzas taste great, and thanks to you. They look wonderful too. Everyone agreed it was the best pizza anyone had ever seen or tasted. For the second time that day, George was so happy that he turned flips and stood on his head. Of course, it was a little harder to turn flips with so much pizza in his belly. But George didn't mind. He had a wonderful pizza party. Bye, everyone. See you with my next story. Bye.